Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy once again coming to you live here on Anchor for another podcast entry on with Rock Rockefeller. Today is January 14th, Monday. It's here in Dallas broadcasting. I enjoyed doing the post so much last time that I had made a post on Twitter that I was going to continue doing it because I enjoy getting on here talking to you guys, and that each time that I do it, I was going to make sure that I have some type of topic to talk about. Other times I'll get on and I'll just kind of talk about different things. It kind of goes back to when I used to do my blog talk radio show, and every Friday I would do something called Freestyle Fridays. And basically what that was just me doing random topics, just talking about anything and everything. But this particular episode, I wanted to touch a little bit more about things that go on in the industry. And again, I like to advise all my listeners, if you're new listeners, that I am an adult film entertainer, producer, director. I say a lot of vulgar language on here, I curse and all that stuff like that. But I have good conversation. I'm not just talking shit. If I'm talking shit, it's good shit. It's not the worthless shit that you be like, oh, I don't want to hear what this motherfucker got to say. I feel that a lot of stuff that I say has meaning behind it, and sometimes people can kind of pick up on some of the advice that I give or see where I'm coming from on some of the stuff that I talk about. Okay, so I'm going to touch base on things that go within the industry, not so much as with me, but what's seen by you all and by myself, and just overall the effect that it has and has had on the industry. What are we going to talk about? Or what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about drugs and the effect that it has on the adult film industry and people, because people are the ones that use them. So I'm going to take a little cut, and then we're going to come back, and we are going to pick up right where I left off as you sit here and tune in to my podcast on this episode of On with Rock Rockefeller. Okay, we are back. Well, I'm back. So, not going to be a long conversation today, but just a little bit to touch on it, and then if anybody has input or comments that they want to post in regard to this posting that I'm doing, feel free to comment, you know what I'm saying? And maybe the next time that I do a posting, I'll just be responding to some of the stuff that you all leave as far as comments and stuff. If anybody posts anything, I mean, I know people are listening, but I don't know how many people give a fuck, but I just like doing it. So going into it, I remember back when I first started doing porn, or when I was first getting into the industry, a really good friend of mine in Atlanta, which is where I started doing porn, was like, Rock, or as he would call me, Rocky, what I'm saying? He was like, please, whatever you do, just promise me that you won't start doing drugs. And I just kind of looked at him, like he was crazy. I'm like, what, dude? What are you talking about? I'm not even that type of person, and he's like, yeah, but I know that sometimes people get into the industry, they start doing porn, and when they're offered the drugs, they start doing them and stuff like that. I was like, well, you know me, and I'm not that kind of person, and I don't foresee that changing as far, and I really didn't, take it like offensively. I'm just like, at the same time, like, come on now. You know me for a while. I'm not the type of person that is easily influenced or people that, when it comes to drugs. Now, I can't say that for sex wise, you know what I'm saying? But easy influence as far as like with drugs. That just happens. I told him, and he was very serious because he had the most serious look on his face. And I had to keep telling him, like, look, I promise you, I give you my word that it's not going to happen. And it never has. Now, not going to lie, I'm pretty sure mostly anybody has, I'm not going to say everybody, but some people, most of us have had some type of interaction with marijuana or weed or gas, whatever you want to call it, whether it's by contact or by actually, inhaling it and smoking it yourself. That's fine. We know that across the country that marijuana is legal in a lot of states and cities, and some are still fighting to get it legalized. So that part is clear. But we also know that the big issue that is going around, and I'll speak on that I've seen and interacted with people that have dealt with it, is it seems to be big now, not only just in society, but within the scope of the industry, is not heroin, crystal meth. Never did it, never had any thoughts of doing it, been offered it, always turned it down. You all can believe me if you want to. You may sit there and be like, oh, he does porn, or, no. I've never had the desire or want or urge to try anything like that out. I haven't even had the desire or urge to want to try cocaine. Now, I'm not here to bash or judge anybody that is on crystal meth or on cocaine or anything like that. I'm speaking just from my own experience and perspective that I would not do that, because I know people, and not the type that I would sit up and put out their names and stuff, that have had run-ins with, those particular drugs. And I've seen the effect firsthand of what they can do to people. And sometimes it just hurts me, because especially if it's somebody I'm close to or somebody that I actually love and care about, and it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that you're dating, to love them, but it's the fact of someone that you're close to and that you have a bond with. And then when you see the effect that it has on them, it breaks my heart. Yeah, we know that we may sit up and tell the person, oh, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that, and you got to stop doing this. But we also have to understand that the world that they're living in, whatever that may be, it's not going to be as easy for them to stop doing it as it is for us to look at it and be like, hey, you should stop doing it. It's easy for us to say it because we're on the outside looking in. But to them, it's a struggle that they have to fight and deal with, and they have to want to not do it anymore. And I've seen people turn around and not do it. But then other times when they're brought into the atmosphere or brought around people that do it, for some reason they fall back into that trap. Not everybody in the industry does drugs, y'all. I mean, we already get tagged as far as being responsible for all kinds of shit that goes on. But this is another thing, that people try to stereotype with adult film entertainers. Oh, all you motherfuckers on drugs, which is not true. That's not true. Yeah, there are people out here that are known for encouraging models to do drugs when they're on set. I know this from hearsay. I know this from particular, companies' reputations. That's my personal view. And I can do that. I'm allowed to say what the fuck I want to say because I don't do it. And I can sit up and say that companies do that because it's true. I'm just not saying what companies do. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, just because it's offered to you doesn't mean that you have to do it. That's the important thing. And if you are up and coming and a new model that's getting to the industry, and a producer, director, or brand sits up and offers you a drug such as crystal meth or cocaine or something like that, that you know is not, if you have to sit up there and second guess about it and you know that shit's bad, then you shouldn't be doing it. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be doing it. Now, there are times during shoots and stuff like that where there are cases where you may have to take, like Viagra or like a Rhino pill or a X Panther or White Panther. These are all pills that are sold in like sex stores and stuff that helps you stay hard. And y'all are familiar with a lot of the pills out there. If not, look it up. They're harmless. A lot of them have side effects, just like, Viagra does, what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But it's nothing like being offered, a narcotic or methamphetamine. For example, people used to talk to me all the time about ecstasy, like, oh yeah, Rock, you take this or you take half on, you'll be off the chain. Motherfucker, I'm off the chain without a fucking ecstasy pill. I don't need help with my sex drive. Not saying that everybody is like that, but I don't need help with that. And you should never feel that if it's brought to you and like, oh, well, you need this and this is going to help you do this, you can't feed into it. If it's not something like natural, like a Viagra pill or something that you can buy, if you can't buy it in the sex store yourself, or it's not like a meal enhancement pill when you know that that's what it is, then you don't need to take it to help you get there. Because some of those drugs, the narcotics that are offered, like cocaine and PCP and other methamphetamines and crystal and stuff like that, can cause you not to be able to perform. It actually will make your situation worse. And then who knows if your body will be able to handle it. You get on set, end up start fucking and having a fucking heart attack and die. I'm exaggerating, but then again, I'm not. I'm just trying to speak a little bit of knowledge out there. And y'all, I've seen this shit. I've seen what people look like when they're on that stuff. And I know a lot of you guys have friends that are talking about getting to the industry and stuff like that. One thing that is not helping them if they're considered doing it is telling them, oh, well, you're going to get out there and start doing drugs, or all they do is everybody's not like that. Not all the companies are bad. You know what I'm saying? I have a zero tolerance for drugs. Yeah, people drink wine. They may have a shot or something to make themselves feel comfortable. That's liquor. That's alcohol. It's something that is sold in a store that you can buy that you know that is legal. But when it comes to stuff like that, so most of the time, I can tell when someone comes to do work with me and they're high on something. Like, if I don't know, I'm going to ask. And the majority of the time, I'm pretty good at knowing. I can tell when a person's high on weed, and then I can tell when a person's high on something else. I'm like, you talking about you high, and that's all you tell me? Okay, then there's more to that motherfucking story. Because if you were high on weed, you would just say, I just smoked a blunt, man, I'm fucked up. Okay, let me let you chill for a little bit, and let's get to work. Versus, yeah, I'm high as fuck, period. Okay, so that's pretty fucking broad, right? That leaves you to speculate and assume any fucking thing. I'm just saying. Everybody that's in the industry is not on drugs. I'm not speaking for the entire adult film industry. I'm just, again, being broad with it to say, and to speak on those behalf that do not indulge in drugs like that, that they're not. And then for those that do, hey, I'm here. If you need somebody to talk to, I'm not the type that puts people's business out there for the world to hear. I may talk about certain things, but that's just to try to let people know like this does go on. Yeah, drugs are done on the sets, not on my sets, but I know that it happens. from word of mouth, and people that I know and trust, they're going to tell me the truth. But I'm not going to criticize a person or judge them. I'm going to reach out and try to help them. Hey, you need to try to get into a program. And I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I can't believe you fucking did that. That's not going to help. If anything, that's going to make them want to continue using, because now they're going to feel like everybody's coming down on them, and that's their way to escape. No different than the person that drinks sometimes. When they get worked up or upset about something, they drink and think it's going to make it all go away, and it doesn't. So I welcome anybody that's out there, whether they're in the industry or not. You want to hit me up because you may be struggling with dealing with it. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a therapist. I'm a person that's dealt with other people that have had problems in the past. We've all had people in our family that may have had some type of interaction with drugs, and we've had to deal with it, and being the type of person that I am, I know that I'm a good person to come and talk to when you're dealing with that or anything. It doesn't even have to be drugs, but my heart, my inbox is open to those that are out there that maybe they're ashamed to talk about it, or maybe in denial, and that's fine. But I'm still cool. That's not going to make me not want to be around nobody because of what they do. Again, the separate from them doesn't help them. They need all the love and help and comfort that they can get to be able to get through that. You can lead them to the water, but you can't make them drink it. That's all that I'm doing, is leading the horse to the trough. I'm not going to make them, hey, this is what you need to do. Hey, you need to ride there. You want to talk about it. Talk about the different times. Because sometimes when they kind of vent about their first time, or how many times they've done it, or when they get there, sometimes that helps. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to be persistent, and wanting to help. You got to be consistent in helping them. Again, I just wanted to throw a little something out there, speak on the behalf of us, professional adult film entertainers. Is that, there's a lot that goes on that may cause them to want to do it because they want to fit in, or because they don't want to be the oddball. Hey, I get it. I really do. But sometimes, scratch that. When that comes to you, you just got to walk away. Fuck the money. Fuck the fact of being able to have your face or whatever put on the cover of something. You can go elsewhere and do that. Hell, you can come to me. I'll make it happen for you. I'm not going to offer you drugs, but I'll definitely offer you, the branding that you wanted to do in your image and stuff like that. So never feel pressured that you would have to do that at all. There are other things that you can do to get to where you want when it comes to being in the adult film industry. So y'all just make sure I remember that. That's all the time I'm going to take up from y'all today. Make sure y'all follow me. My personal page on Twitter is @RockRockefeller. Also follow the Rockefellers Entertainment Twitter, which is @Rockefellers, and the Rocks Boys Twitter, which is Rocks Boys XXX. That's Rocks Boys XXX. That's on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram under Rock Rockefeller, and you can follow Rocks Boys Instagram, RocksBoys_official. All right. I appreciate y'all tuning in to my little podcast thing that I'm doing. Like I said, I'm going to try to be consistent with it. And if y'all post comments and stuff like that, that's cool. Next few podcasts that I'm thinking about doing on here is talking about relationships, coming out of the closet, as I speak. Maybe even we'll talk about the whole R. Kelly thing, three-way relationships, because they do exist. So until next time, again, I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my website. Again, I'm an adult film entertainer. My website is rocksboys.com. You can sign up for it right now. It's only $14.97. You can download videos, download photo galleries. This shit's hot. I know because I filmed it, and some of them, or most of them, I'm in as well. So make sure you check it out. All right. Until then, you can't see me, but I am giving y'all the deuces.